I'm Paul Larson, and this is the fermentation mechanical block test. There are a few parts to this test. The first one we're going to look at is the lid, all the stuff that's attached to it. The bucket needs to be airtight, so the holes that are drilled into the top of the lid need to be airtight. We have a airlock right here with a rubber stopper for this hole, and the whole point of a rubber stopper is to keep things sealed, so that is definitely airtight. Next is the copper tube. You can see here that I've used silicone sealant on the copper tube, not only on the top, but also on the bottom of the lid. You can see there. So that's sealed airtight. This hole right here is one that we drilled that we ended up not needing, so I just went ahead and sealed that with the silicone sealant on top and on bottom. It's kind of hard to see, but that's sealed up. You can see that the copper tube sticks down, when it's all the way down there, it's a little rough to gauge, but it's about 3 inches from the bottom of the bucket, which is about where we want it to sit to reach the temperature. On the copper tube, on the bottom, we have a cap sitting there, and that cap can't allow water to get in or out because we're going to have a temperature sensor in there and it can't get wet. So what I've actually done is, before I started recording this video, I filled this tube up with water, and you can see that it's pretty dry. There's no water leaking out of it. It was sealed by soldering around that cap head, so that's definitely airtight. And to show that there is water in there, I'll pour it out. Alright, so that's pretty much the lid. Next, we have the bucket itself. And the bucket, there's really not much to it. The only thing we really needed was this hole drilled in the side for the beer to actually get in. And you can see right there, it's sealed with silicone, as everything else was. And also on the inside, you can see it's sealed. And the tube on the inside comes up, it's well above, and I'll show you in a second, where the watermark is going to be, the top level of where the beer will sit, so it will allow all of the beer to get in without water overtaking it and not allowing any more to flow. So that's what I'll show next. I'm going to set the camera over here. So this pitcher right here, this is 1 gallon. I'm going to fill this bucket up with about almost 3 of these. So here's the first one. There's the second one. And there's a little over half, so that should be fine. And again, this is how much beer we expect to be in there based on all the ingredients we put in. Set this down here. So you can see that top level there. This tube is not even close to touching it. It'll allow all the beer to be poured in without having any overtake, not allowing it to flow in any longer. The last thing I wanted to show was the copper tube right here that holds the, sorry, there it is, the temperature sensor. It needs to be wide enough for the temperature sensor to actually fit down through. And I have the temperature sensor right here. And you can see with wires, it has no problem getting in and out of there. So that is basically the fermentation mechanical block test. And as the last thing I actually want to show is just to prove that the bucket gets sealed. I'll just close the lid. It's a really tight lid. That thing is solid shut too. Like, I can lift it by the lid and it does not even budge.